Let's reset for September. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are going to be resetting for September of 2025. I'm super thrilled because September is my favorite month. In this video, we're going to talk about August goals, August finances, all things August, and then also kind of all things September. I have already filmed a dedicated September budget with me video. So if you want to see what our financial plan is looking like for September, then check out that video. I am kind of late doing this video in my September plan with me video because I was sick for about a week and some change. I guess like a full week. Yeah, a week and some change. So I don't know if this video is going up before the plan with me video or after, but just know that there will be at some point a September plan with me video that's put out there if you want to see me setting up my planners for the month of September. But at any rate, let's go ahead and start with talking about our August finances. For starters, I did a financial update, kind of where we are in our financial journey so that there's no confusion. And I put out that video in August. So if you want to kind of get caught up on what we've been up to over the last 8-9 years or however long I've been on YouTube, and you want to kind of see where we are right now, then definitely check out that video. But basically I shared in that video that we were going to have to, again, borrow money from ourselves, and to rectify the situation, we would have to be on a little bit stricter of a budget for the foreseeable future, which will be for a couple of months. I'm predicting we'll be good in October. In November will be like our first month of not having to be on such a strict budget. I mean, we very well may continue to stay on the same type of budget, but I'm just saying that would be the start of us kind of rectifying this financial situation that we are in. So that is what we've been up to. All of that to say, August was a fairly good month. When I tell you how much we spent in total, you might be a little shocked, but I do track all of our expenses, every single one of them. So that means that even though we paid my husband's college tuition, which was thousands of dollars in August, and it's not part of our regular spending, it was an expense. I did track it for August. That would make up a significant portion of the money spent in August. But going ahead and getting started, first of all, I have my iPad here. That is what I'm referencing, and I'm referencing Notion. We had a slew of financial goals, tasks, to-dos. Let's talk about the ones we accomplished and the ones we did not. We did invest 15% of our paychecks. We paid our monthly credit card bill. We did save $2,500, actually more. We did do some random acts of kindness. I did submit my W-2s, although it was really like a transcript and not technically a W-2. So it was a whole thing, but I technically did that. I did buy our dog a birthday gift. She got a pup cake, as she gets every year, a new toy, and a new treat. I put on here to prep for a joint birthday party. That was going to be the party my husband was hosting for his mom and aunt at the beginning of August. That meant, I don't know what we contributed. It was like a potluck style. I think my husband grilled hot dogs and burgers, and we maybe bought something else, but that was kind of like what we were responsible for, or what we signed up for. I put on here to finalize my husband's birthday plans, which I've done. I put buy home goods. By home goods, I mean that there have been some things around the house that we have been needing to purchase, like paint and specific batteries and such, and I did purchase a good bit of those in August. Pay remaining retreat balance. I'm going on a retreat, another retreat this year with my colleagues. I don't know if I've ever really talked about this, but I started a business I technically started it last year, but we didn't get an LLC and become an actual business until this year because we wanted to, see if it was something we wanted to commit to. So I do have 3 other co-founders of that particular business, which is the Financial Social Work Collaborative, which is a landing spot for financial social work graduates or those going through the certification process. So anyway, that's the thing. And we live in 4 different states. So we do get together once or twice a year to plan. This time we're working on this big project with the founder of Financial Social Work. Anyway, that's the thing that's happening. So I had a balance to pay for the retreat. I wanted to purchase Falcons tickets, which I did, but I got them for free using credit card points. transfer from joint brokerage account. That's what I did and was talking about in that video. Pay my husband's fall tuition, pay medical bills. All of those things are goals, tasks, and to-dos that were completed. The ones that were not completed was buying an Apple Watch. I'm still without, and I'm just gonna keep. My mother-in-law just asked me yesterday when I'm getting an Apple Watch, because we'll do like little challenges and keep up with each other's steps and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I don't know. Basically, when we have extra funds, maybe she should just buy me one. I'm just kidding. Although I bought her one for her birthday once, so it wouldn't be too foreign of a concept. Basically, it's not on my priority list. Finalize my birthday plans, which I haven't done. Pay my eye doctor copay. I didn't have one. Love that for me. I actually had a credit on my account, so I didn't have to pay an eye doctor fee or copay or whatever when I went for my annual well check in August. Pre-order NBA 2K26. That's something I typically do every September for my husband's birthday, but he recently got college football, so he's just now playing that and getting into that. So he says he doesn't want NBA 2K26. Schedule OBGYN book laser appointment. Those are two tasks that I just want to be reminded of, but that I don't have to do in any particular month. So they actually rolled over to September. For income, our income is a lot because we had 1, 2, 3, 4 regular paydays. 2 for me, 2 for my husband. We had a transfer from our joint brokerage account, which was plenty money. I got some referrals from this company that I work with. We got an IRS refund because I had requested my W-2s from them, but they didn't have them, so they refunded me my money. And then there was also another transfer and from this other account, and then I got a mileage check. So our income was actually a lot. I'd say it was probably more than it's actually ever been, just due to all of those different factors, particularly that transfer, that large transfer. Okay, so I'm looking at our expenses. In total, we spent $9,033.85, which is a lot, but keep in mind that my husband's college tuition and this other expense that we had that was specific to August make up like $4,000 of that. So if you've been around, you know, normally we are spending no less than $4,000 per month. Even if you just consider our mortgage and our electricity bill for August, that's over $2,000. So it's kind of hard to spend less than $4,000 each month, but that's the sweet spot. Somewhere around $4,000 just for expenses would be a sweet spot. Due to the transfer, our income then was way more than our monthly expenses, which is good. That's what we like to see. Okay, so now let's talk about my August reflection. As part of my digital planner, I have a page called August Monthly Reflections or August Monthly Reflection, and I have highlighted my highs, lows, favorites, lessons, and my habits for the month of August. I do this every month. My planner is actually available for free and it's undated. So if you want to purchase it, just click the link in my description box. But starting with highs, we went to a drive-in movie theater that we often go to. It's far cheaper. It's literally $10 per person, and you can watch 2. It's usually a double feature. Not usually, it's always a double feature, and usually we watch both, and they're new movies, so that's a no-brainer. But we went there to watch Freakier Friday first. I don't know what the other movie was, but that was a high. And a high moment to me is when I think that life is worth living. Like, this is the point of it all. A lake day. I went to the lake with a friend. I'd gone to that lake before. We didn't even get in the water. We just went out, had like a little picnic, and ate and yapped. And that was fun because it was pretty. I had a good eye report. You might not know this, but basically I was being monitored for potential glaucoma. Basically, if your eye pressures are high, I think they're supposed to be less than 21. But if they're higher than that, that could be indicative of possibly having or getting glaucoma. So I was monitored for that for about a year, but now my pressures have been good for the past year. So I don't have to be monitored every 6 months anymore. So now I think I can do every year. I don't even know if I scheduled my next eye doctor. Normally I have to schedule it, you know, I'm instructed to do so before I leave, but because I can go like a regular person, I guess, I didn't even schedule it. So I'll schedule it sometime I'll schedule it for August of next year. But that was an amazing report because my pressures have been consistently good for about a year. We celebrated our book club's first anniversary. We were going to go out of town and do like a staycation or something in Florida. That wasn't working out, I think, due to people potentially dropping out or kind of mentioning dropping out, but we hadn't booked anything yet. So then we were going to do a staycation, and I think we did book that, but a couple folks weren't going to be able to do that either. We just celebrated Friday evening and almost all day Saturday, and we just ended up here at my house. We had brunch, lunch, all the things, and that was really fun. I put my nieces because my nieces are funny, and then I put planning my husband's 36th birthday blitz. So we're in the thick of it now. It just started yesterday. From September 1st until September the 7th, I am sending him on a series of missions. For Lowe's, I put 7 Brew coffee. I tried 7 Brew twice. It's all the rave here where I live because they're building them everywhere. And you know, I tried a low carb, low sugar recipe and it wasn't really doing it. So I tried it again, wasn't doing it. So I'm over it. Basically, I'm just over it. Next up, I put Crazy Kids. I don't really know what that means. Am I talking about my students? I put Freakier Friday because I was underwhelmed, but I know some people really liked it, but whatever. Then I was sick. I was sick and missed work all of last week. So I got sick. I always blame my sickness on my students because they're always touching my stuff impulsively. They're always snotting and sneezing and coughing, and my students have been sick, missing school, coming back, still technically sick, but still at school. And I feel like I've never been as sickly as I have been since starting this job. So I blame my sickness on my student every time I'm sick. And then also a low is a late period. I think it was late though because of my sickness. I have never had that happen to me. So I was looking it up and that can be a cause of a late period. So that was a little shaky for me. But anyway, let's talk about my favorites. I put hanging on the new patio. We hung out there like 2 or 3 times with other people, I would say. Not just us two. We do hang out there alone, but with other people. Probably for the first time because we haven't really hosted, and then it's rained in Georgia almost every day since May, and we got the patio done in May. So we haven't really been able to be out there for real and taking advantage of the whole part of it. One part is covered and we can be under there when it's raining or whatever because it's relatively dry, but the other part, the extended part, is not covered. So if it rains, then that is just wet, and that's where the seating is for the most part. So anyway, hanging out on the patio was fun. Planning Shade Timber. I have decided that for this month, particularly since I have a milestone birthday, particularly because I have a milestone birthday or a birthday that I'm excited about, which is kind of unheard of for me. I love my birthday, but I'm normally not like super excited for it. So anyway, I'm doing this whole thing. It's called Shade Timber. I'll report back on what that is because at the filming of this video, it's the 2nd day of September. I put my babysitting gig. I babysat for my friend so she could go to this women's conference, and that was fun to hang out with my little friend. I put cherry scented fragrances because my fragrance or scent of the month is cherry, and so I've been eating up the cherry scented stuff. I'm currently using cherry scented perfume, body spray, lotion, and body wash. So if you smell me at any point, I'll probably be smelling like a cherry. I put knotless box braids. That's what these are. I have no idea. When I text my friend, it's actually my husband's childhood friend's wife, but we hang out occasionally just like as couples or whatever the case is. So anyway, when I text her to get my hair done, she'll ask me what I want, and I'm like, same thing as last time. And so she was like, do you get knotless braids or just box braids? And I don't really know the difference. I'm like, whatever I always get. And so I learned recently that these are apparently knotless braids. I don't know if they're still called box braids, but I feel like they are. Doesn't the box part refer to the part? Anyway, I don't know. Walks with hubby. My husband and I have been walking a lot. We've been in our walking bag and we found this new route, so that's fun. I put memoirs because I read or listened to probably like 3 or 4 memoirs in August. So I love a memoir just in general, but I was especially loving them in August. I put bookish things. I don't really know what that means. I think just all things books and whatever. And then I did an iPad mini makeover. I bought this. I already had the case. This was free from Best Buy because I had a $10 certificate. I made all of this back here, / I already had the stickers, but I made the insert or the background. I already had the book review sticky notes. I put the stickers in here, and so I bought this for $10. So my iPad mini, which serves as a Kindle, was made over, and that was fun and cute. And yeah, this is a pop socket, by the way. So I hold this when reading. And then I put iced coffee. I was loving iced coffee in August, as I'm sure you know by now. I love iced coffee, or I loved iced versions of coffee. I don't love coffee, but when I drink it, it's probably gonna be ice. And then I put decluttered closet / dresser. So one of my main tasks last week was to declutter our closet, which is huge, and our dressers, so all of our clothes. For lessons learned, I put on here that time waits for no man, and neither do I. That's the first lesson that came to me in August. That's kind of funny. I think I was thinking about that because I have never been the type to wait around for somebody. Some people disagree with that, and they do wait around for people. I do not. If I woke up tomorrow and I wanted to go to Jamaica, of course I would try to see if somebody can go with me, but if they can't, then I'm just gonna go anyway by myself. That's dramatic, using Jamaica as an example, but I'm just saying that's how far, that's the extent that I'm willing to go and do something by myself rather than waiting for other people. I'm not a fan, because I might end up waiting my whole life if I'm waiting for other people. I put on here that TikTok is weird. That's because I have been trying to post really bookish content on TikTok, and TikTok just is an annoying place for me just in general. I know people love it, but I can't relate. I put on here autism awareness because I attended this training for, I don't know if it was specifically for folks in the school system who work with children with autism, but either way, it was about autism awareness. We heard from leaders in the autism space, as well as parents and their experiences with autism and all that. So that was fun, just, you know, kind of hearing from parents and stuff. So I attended, I guess technically it was a training. That was helpful. That was good. Another thing is marching to the beat of my own drum. I don't know, I'll just put it on here. At some point throughout the month, I was thinking about how I marched to the beat of my own drum, and so I put that on here. Whatever the definition of a perfectionist or a control freak is, it is not me. I am the complete opposite of a perfectionist and a control freak. Now, I am particular in ways. However, my philosophy is that I can only control myself, my words, my actions, my behaviors. I am not at liberty to control literally anyone else. I put on here friendships / relationships. I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about friendships and relationships, and so I feel like I learned a lot from her. We continue to learn from one another. How she approaches friendship is the complete opposite of how I approach friendship, which is fine because we can still be friends, but I'm always intrigued to learn about her views on friendship and all of that. So that's why I put that on here. And then I put less rigid. I will have you know that I used to be quite rigid. Now I am not. Literally, I did a job update, by the way, if you want to get an update on if I'm quitting my public school system job or not. So check out that video. But I was saying in that video that I have grown tremendously in the area of rigidity at this job, because everything's flexible, everything's adaptable, nothing's rigid. And so I've grown to be less rigid. When I was first starting this job, even after like a year or two, I was reporting that I wasn't growing clinically and didn't think that I would. And to be honest, I haven't really in your average sense. You know, at my previous jobs, I went to a lot of trainings and I met with my clinical supervisor, and I had another supervisor who, you know, was a clinician that I had to meet with as I was getting my supervision hours to become licensed at the independent level. So basically I was being challenged a lot. At that job, they encouraged me to go pass my first licensure tests, and then they paid for everything that was involved with me being able to get and go take my second licensure exam. So I just feel like I was constantly growing as a clinician. While I can't say the same for this job, I have actually grown, because as a clinician, I don't think it helps or serves anybody to be super rigid. So while I can't share that I've grown in a ton of ways at this job, I can say just as a clinician, but specifically as a person, I've grown to be less rigid. But that translates to my work, because it's at this job that I'm and doing the work that I'm doing where I'm being challenged to be less rigid. So like overall, as a person, I find myself to be far less rigid, and I love that for me actually, because who wants to be rigid? For habits, I was tracking the same ones: journaling, exercising, reading, studying, skincare, low calorie, low carb, no spin, no alcohol, medications, vitamins, and sleeping 7 hours minimum, a minimum of 7 hours. And you know, I did really well with exercise. I did exceptionally well with reading, and I even did studying. I had some low carb, low calorie days that I can remember specifically. I had some no spin days, I think for the first time, maybe. No, maybe not for the first time, but I feel like maybe for the first time in a while, I've done really well regarding all of the habits. So it looks pretty good. Could be better in some areas, but it's pretty good overall. Let me show you my mood board. First picture, I don't really insult myself. That's never been my thing. I guess if I were to do it, I would do it in private and not in front of people. I just feel like doing so encourages other people to do the same, and what I'm not going to do is pave a way for somebody to insult me. But all of that to say, looking at this picture at first glance, I'm looking a little rough. I'm gonna show it to you anyway. That's us at lunch for my mother-in-law's birthday. That's the cold brew drink, or sorry, that's cold brew, but that's the 7 Brew drink that I tried. That's Around the Way Girl and my rating for it. That's us at the all white party. That's the lake. That's my friend's son and me when I was babysitting. Oh, I decorated the house a bit for the book club retreat. My decorations were 100% free because I basically used an old book, and I made a banner and I did some other decorating. So that was cool. That's the cherry scent. I didn't have the body wash because I just ran out of body wash. So I just decided to get cherry to add it. I listened to Tina Knowles' book, Matriarch, Frida McFadden's The Crash, Frida McFadden's The Wife Upstairs, Emily Henry's Beach Read. That's us at the drive-in movie theater. That's a new emoji. It's not a real emoji, but somebody made it somewhere and I added it as a sticker to my phone. So now it basically is an emoji in my world. I hit 94,000 subscribers in August. That's exciting. What is that? Oh, that's my dog for her birthday. That's her cake, her treat, and her toy. That's the banner for my husband's 36th birthday blitz. This is a pattern I found in Canva and kind of designed, so that's like my fall theme for my iPads and my phone. I listened to Growing Up Urkel by Jaleel White, I think is his name. Yes. And then, I listened to Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. And I actually have the physical copy. I can see it from here. And I've read it before. My old boss gave that to me. However, I didn't really remember it. So basically, I listened to it. And then I also watched the movie. So I think that's everything. I am now going into my Notion, back into my Notion. So I plan between Notion, which is free, my digital planner, which is free, and then my actual physical planner. This is kind of like day-to-day planning. Notion is more like long-term planning, and I feel like my digital planner is like monthly planning, but mainly its purpose is served best as like a memory keeper or just a way for me to be creative and stuff like that. So that's the difference between all these different systems. So I'm going back into Notion, which is where my goals are housed. And as a reminder, my monthly goals are just broken down yearly goals, bite-sized yearly goals. So they are the same pretty much every month, and the action steps change, but not the overarching goal. For August, I wanted to take a personal day, which I guess I did on August the 10th. A personal day for me is just some time to myself, basically. That's really important to me. So I did that in August. So I don't know what I did specifically on August the 10th, but that was the day that I took the personal day. Also, I wanted to read 4 books. I ended up reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. And I would say my favorite one of all of those 8 books, there should have been 8 books in my digital planner on that page. I don't know if there was. I could have forgotten some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What did I forget? Let's see. Beach Read, The Wife Upstairs, Matriarch, Growing Up Urkel, The Crash, Hillbilly Elegy. Oh, I lied. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books, and I started on an 8th one, which I'll finish in September. So of all of those, if you look at my ratings on my digital planner, per the ratings, my favorite one would have been Matriarch by Tina Knowles, who's Beyonce's mom. So I like that memoir. That was fun. So I achieved the goal of reading 4 books. For self-care, I wanted to schedule the OBGYN, schedule laser hair removal, grow my nails, and buy perfume. I did buy perfume. I'm trying to not get my nails done, not use acrylic or anything for my nails in an effort to grow up my natural nails. I have been abstaining from acrylic and the Gel X nails and all that, but I haven't been doing that great of a job with growing out my nails. Some months better than others. August, not quite. But technically, what I'm really trying to do is abstain. So I technically did that, but to say that my nails are growing is a stretch. So we're not checking off that, basically. For family, I did hang curtains in the guest room. They had fallen down probably like a year ago, and like, who really cared? So we never cared. But I had a burst of energy last week and I hung the curtains, which is crazy. Also wanted to declutter upstairs. Did that last week as well during this burst of energy. And I didn't do all of it, but I did a part of upstairs. And then we wanted to change the batteries on some of our monitors. We bought the batteries. They're special types of batteries, and we changed them. So we did accomplish 3 of those things, but these are just running house projects that we need to do. So until we do these things, we'll probably never achieve that technical goal. We wanted to invest 15% of our paychecks, which we did, save at least $2,500, which we did. For relationships, which I don't really always share the title of these different like goal categories, but this one's relationships. And I wanted to schedule friend dates, catch up with a friend, host family friends, and celebrate help one person. Did do that. Then I wanted to continue studying for my clinical exam. I did do that. I wanted to secure 1 sponsorship. Technically, I've secured a sponsorship, but I don't really know if I'm going to go through with it. So I'm good for, backing out of something if it doesn't really feel right or whatever reason. So I have secured one, but I don't know. It may never come to fruition. We'll see. I wanted to publish 8 YouTube videos monthly by planning my videos monthly, which I did, and then filming and releasing 2 videos per week, which I did not do. And it didn't help that I got sick, but I probably wouldn't. I may have met the goal if I didn't get sick. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway. And then health, workout 3 times, or schedule workout days weekly, which I did do. Lose 4 pounds. I did not do. I am the same weight as I was when I started August, so a month ago, but I'm not 4 pounds down by any means. And then I wanted to do low calorie, low carb. I don't have a specific number of days or whatever, but I guess I feel like if I'm losing weight, then obviously I'm in a caloric deficit. So I'm obviously doing low calorie, low carb or whatever. They're kind of interchangeable for me in my brain, but I didn't lose 4 pounds. So I clearly wasn't in a caloric deficit, and thus I did not meet that goal. So that's health for August, and that's all things August. Now let's talk about September. I want to take a personal day on September the 15th. That is my birthday. I have never worked a day in my life on my birthday. If I'm going to take a random day off of work at any point in any year, because I want to use my PTO, then it should be like my birthday or somebody else's birthday, or in theory it would be a vacation or something like that. But my vacations and trips are pretty much aligned with my work schedule, because we get like 2 weeks off at the end of each quarter, and then we get a good amount of time off in the summer, and then we're off all the holidays. So basically I don't really need to take off work really ever. So I usually just take off for my birthday. So I might do that this year. We shall see. Either way, even if I do go to work, the rest of the day definitely is going to be a personal day and dedicated to moi. I want to read 4 books. I'm currently reading Plus Size Player. In my Libby, there are some books that I have borrowed and that are due in like a week. And that is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, Wildfire by Hannah Grace, and The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. Because of which, I do think I'm going to try to finish up Abby Jimenez's catalog, because I love Abby Jimenez. To do that, I'll need to read Life's Too Short, which is available, I'm pretty sure, in Kindle Unlimited. I checked before I put these on here, so I just might be telling you a lie as I'm trying to remember, but I think The Friend Zone is available on Kindle Unlimited, and so is The Fall Risk, and then Life's Too Short. I feel like there's one more though. There's one more book that I would need to read to finish her catalog. In my head, it's all worked out. I'll report back. I have One Italian Summer back here, which I want to read before summer ends. And then I have on here Played, which is the book club book for a virtual book club that I'm in. And then All Her Little Secrets, which is the book club book for the in-person book club that I'm in. Basically, I'm gonna try to read these books. I might deviate from it a wee bit, but normally I don't really deviate, mainly because if I'm borrowing a book from Libby, then I want to read it and return it when it's due. And, you know, I don't want to miss my opportunity. So I normally stick to the script when it comes to my TBR. For self-care, I literally want to do the same 4 things as last month. For a family, I have a bunch of home projects on here. I have removed the ones that were completed entirely, but there still are a lot that remain. Same with the amount that we want to invest, or the percentage, and then we want to save at least $2,000. For relationships, literally the same stuff. Plus, I want to complete 1 bucket list item, which I will do, because on my bucket list for life, my bucket list for life is attending a Major League Baseball game. I don't really know why, but I got free tickets to see the Braves. So I'll be marking off or checking off a bucket list item. Same stuff for career, continue to study, but study more is what I really need to be doing. For business, literally the same stuff. And health, literally the same stuff. As I mentioned, stuff doesn't really change from month to month with me in my little boring life. So that's gonna be it for my reset. Did I do everything? I feel like I've been doing these for a few years maybe, so I feel like I'm in a groove now. And I think that I sometimes will forget to do the mood board, but I already did that. So I think that's it. That's gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.